Let's talk about the Zen of Desire. Hey guys, Randy Gage here. Welcome to another episode of Prosperity TV. I'm coming to you still from Miami. And I want to talk about desire. I'm being a little cheeky by naming this episode the Zen of Desire. Because I'm fascinated by Zen and Buddhist concepts, study them a lot. I certainly buy into the belief that we have to be grateful for where we are, for what we have, that we need to live in the moment, enjoy the moment. But some of the philosophy of Zen would lead you to believe that, hey, happiness is going to come from not having desires, from being so grateful for what you have. And I don't buy into that at all. I think desire is the ultimate Zen in the sense of desire comes from your innate intelligence, your higher self. I believe when we desire something, it is part of that, I'm going to say intuitive, inherent, and evolutionary nature of who we are. Because I think enlightenment is this process of evolution. We evolve, right? Every century, I believe, humankind has gotten more enlightened in the sense of what we think is acceptable. And of course, if you look on Facebook and social media, you might say, hey, I think the society is devolving. That's actually not true. If we look at the amount of people who are hungry, the amount of people who live in abject poverty, the amount of people who are in slavery, the amount of people who are being held down, we've actually made tremendous progress there. And certainly there's more work to do. But of course that progress always comes from working, you don't save the world, you don't change the world, you change yourself, and then that changes the world. And I believe we have this evolutionary mechanism that to evolve, and I think desire is part of that evolutionary mechanism. That we desire things, and to achieve those things, we find something we want to do, have, or become, we have to evolve as a person. We have to become a better person. We have to evolve in order to manifest that in many cases. And I think that's a very natural, prosperous thing. So, you know what? It can be a materialistic thing. You may have a desire that you want to buy a $250,000 Lambo or a $500,000 Lambo. I'm not going to judge you on that and say that's a bad thing or that's a materialistic thing. No, I think if you really, if you're like me and you love cars, now I'm not a Lambo guy because I'm too tall for Lambos, but right, I love cars. I love exotic sports cars. So I see one and desire that. And then I start to work on, okay, how can I create enough value in the world to manifest enough money to buy that next car that I want to buy? And that's an evolutionary process that challenges me to get better. And I think what you're looking for, what I'm looking for, what we're all looking for, is finding that right mechanism of desire that pulls us forward to becoming ultimately what we want to do, which is the highest possible version of ourselves. Now, this is a really powerful dynamic, and I think it's one of the great dynamics that make us evolve as a human being. But what do we know about powerful things? We know that anything that is powerful is dangerous. So most of you know I moved out of the house when I was 15 years old, and then nobody could tell me what to do. So I got to eat pizza and ice cream and cookies and sodas all day, every day. Every meal of my life for years was pizza, pasta, cookies, cake, candy, ice cream, 15 sodas a day, until I got to the point where my health absolutely collapsed. And it takes us to the next part of the equation, which is desire and discipline. And then we have to realize, okay, yes, I like ice cream, but if I eat ice cream my whole life, I'm just going to get sick, have diabetes, have, both legs, both arms amputated, and I'm going to live a really bad life, right? I like to watch Game of Thrones, but if I watch that kind of television 5 hours a night, I'm going to devolve into a zucchini. Right? If there are things that we desire that in the appropriate quantity enhance our lives. But when we go too far, when we don't have the self-discipline, then they wreck our lives, right? Or they make our lives less worth living, or they take us away from becoming the highest possible version of ourselves instead of toward it. So to me, what's the Zen of desire? This would be, that desire is an inherent, natural, evolutionary process. We should celebrate it, we should nurture it, and we need to have the self-discipline to control our desires so our desires don't control us. What do you think? Get down below, share it in the comments. Have an amazing day. Peace. Hey Sean, we haven't put a subscribe button in a long time. Would you put a big flashing neon subscribe button so all these nice people watching would know they need to subscribe to this?